Welcome to Fearless Friday. It's very much into the holiday season. I assume a lot of people are finishing off work today to get into the Christmas spirit. And so today I wanted to talk a little bit about overwhelm, because at this time of year with so much happening, people do tend to get quite overwhelmed. And I wanted to first talk about like the sort of overwhelm on a macro and a micro level. And I'll use myself as an example. A couple of months ago, before I signed up with a business coach, I had so much going on. I was working a very demanding 9-to-5 job. I was planning a wedding, my own wedding. And I obviously then hired a business coach to start working on my own business. And this was around July. And I had so much going on that it did start becoming quite overwhelming. And I think when you become so overwhelmed, it becomes really difficult to, like, your perception becomes completely clouded because it's not actually what's going on around you. It's your perception of what is happening. So on a macro level, I'm going to refer you back to a video I recently did on Fearless Friday about how to get unstuck. It's the first one that I did, and those are some really good steps and tips that you can take to strip away all the overwhelm and actually get some direction in what it is that you're wanting to achieve, either in your personal life or your business or in both. Then more on a micro level, these are things that you need to do right now. And when there's just so much on your to-do list and things that you have to get done, you kind of just procrastinate. The stress, the anxiety all starts becoming quite a lot. And so you end up as well doing nothing and not really achieving anything because you have no sense of direction. And this is how it can affect our lives and our business. I mean, you sit unhappy, you sit stressed, you feel a little bit glum. So how can we take this overwhelm away and give ourselves a little bit of direction so we know in what way we are heading? And everybody is different. So I'm going to mention a couple of tools that I personally have used, but I really think it's for you yourself to work out what are the things that actually make you happy and can strip away those feelings of stress and anxiety. I think the first one is one that can go for everybody, which is less is more. So take things off the to-do list, cancel things, prioritize what is important and what is not, because you physically cannot do everything. I think as women, we put a lot of pressure on ourselves to be the perfect wife, be the perfect mother, be doing a job, doing this, doing that, and you actually can't do everything. And when you're running yourself into the ground like that, you are not being your best self. And what happens with that is you showing up not being your best person. And if you're not being your best, you can't be the best for other people. So you really need to strip away the things that are not important. Take that to-do list and take stuff off the to-do list. Prioritize what is important. Schedule out those things for yourself. Like, put them actually into a schedule, into a calendar. Factor in time for yourself as well. That's just as important, and that's just as much a to-do as doing the grocery shopping, for example. So I would highly recommend to do that. A couple of other things that really work for me is that when I'm feeling a bit like exhausted or overwhelmed, stressed, anxious, I don't particularly think hammering myself in a gym is a good way to go. When your body is already quite stressed out, the last thing you want to do is add extra pressure onto it. So for me, like, I keep moving, whether that's yoga or walking or just doing a bit of swimming or going to the gym. But for me, movement really helps. Just to keep myself moving is really, really good for me. Meditation and breathing. There's some amazing guided meditation apps that you can use. I personally really enjoy Buddhify, and then Headspace is a very popular one as well. And I mean, there's heaps of meditations that you can use on YouTube as well. So meditation and breathing and just slowing down a bit also really helps. Gratitude journaling, and this is a big one for me. When everything seems to be going wrong, if you can find the things that are going right, that is very powerful. So, and this is something that can take like 2 minutes a day. In the morning, you can write down 3 things that you're grateful for. And even if it's the same 3 things every day, write them down, because it does definitely help you to start turning things around and start shifting that perception that everything's wrong into, oh, hey, actually everything's going really well. So gratitude journaling is good. And sleep. I am a huge advocate for good sleep. If, when I'm feeling this way, I'm not sleeping well. And when I'm not sleeping well, I'm extremely grumpy. So, work on making sure that you're getting good quality sleep and enough sleep, not too much and not too little, really does help with that. So, there are heaps of other things. I spoke to a couple of the girls in my group, and, for them, some like to get outside, some like to get on their bike for 2 hours. There's loads of different things that work for different people. These are just a few tools that really, really work for me. So if you have anything that really works for you, drop it in the comments box. I'd love to hear from you. And that's it for today. It's nearly Christmas, and so strip all that overwhelm away, be present, enjoy the time, and I will speak to you next Friday. Bye.